Okay, we need to start class, sign in the sign-in sheet. I'm gonna have to take roll. Let's save some time. Okay, chapter 4, folks, it's important that you get that spreadsheet and you get those statements. Now, you were supposed to finish your spreadsheet for today, and that was exercise 24. So look at that a moment. Get this problem out if you would. Exercise 24 and 25 look like this. And now on Cengage, chapter 4, has anybody finished chapter 4 yet? Nobody has finished chapter 4? Somebody started chapter 4. Does it have one of these worksheets in it? Yes. It does have one. I just don't have this spreadsheet. Yeah, that'd be 2 practices on this than what we did. It's 3 practices on this thing. Get your worksheet out and check it. All we started with was unadjusted trial balance. And we did some adjustments, and then we brought over the adjusted trial balance. I hope all of you now know to add 2 debits to get 103, or take a debit and a credit to get 4 balance in supplies. All right, and I hope you get all your totals to balance. Okay, thanks, Margo. You all sign it on this side. Okay. All right, then we were supposed to do remainder of this spreadsheet and what goes on the income statement, revenue, expenses. Okay, and what goes on the balance sheet, assets, liabilities, and capital. And we have to put drawing. We know drawing don't go on an official balance sheet, but here it goes. Okay, now the 65 net income just simply makes these 2 columns equal when you add it to the debit side. And the 65 added to the credit side will make your balance sheet equal. Okay? All right, is everybody good? Now, if you were asked the other day, you didn't get one of these worksheets and you would have to draw it. Got yours? I forgot mine. I got it. Okay, I think everybody got it. All right. Actually, a couple people live streaming, and you should have done the other exercises. And the other exercises would be to do an income statement. And if you do the worksheet, that income statement's easy, isn't it? Okay, we have a dozen of you here today. Some folks not in good attendance, and a couple of folks are live streaming. But I think, even though you can live stream, I think being here is better than watching it by yourself at home or trying to practice whatever we're doing at home. Yeah, sometime well, you will. Now, semester's still young, but how many of you have not missed a day this semester? I know. 9 out of 12 has not missed a day. That's pretty good. That's about half the class. So forth. There could be a couple out there live streaming. If they live stream live and they have texted me, which a couple has this morning, they would be in attendance. All right, but an income statement, folks. By now, you ought to be getting this just by repeating. Revenue minus expenses. All right, I'm going to get off the capital statement here for a moment. We take beginning capital and we add what? Net income. And what if that was a loss? What would we do? We'd just simply subtract. Now, let me give you this is the last problem on your Cengage chapter 4. All right. Now, this is going to help you with the last problem on Cengage chapter 4. All right. What if beginning capital was 30,000 and you had no withdrawals and ending capital ended up being 50,000? What was your net income? 20,000. So far, so good. All right. What if your capital ended up being 18,000? What would happen? You had a loss of 12,000. Okay. So the last problem on Cengage is something similar to that. All right. If you had no withdrawals and no additional investment and capital decrease. Now in Cengage, if your answer is a loss, like I say, if this went down to 18,000, you'd have a loss of what? All right. Now you can put 12,000 in Cengage, it would count it wrong because you don't have a minus sign. Somehow you have to put a minus sign on the last problem on Cengage for it to give you a correct answer. Okay. All right. Has anybody got to that last item on Cengage? All right. Did you get that last one right?
Almost. I have one more point. I can't
on Cengage.
I can like check the work and it checks all the ones I got right when I had to got right.
Is that the last one?
Last question on Cengage.
Last question. That's what I'm telling you now. It will be a minus answer, and make sure you put a minus in front of it. Because parentheses make it a negative, whatever makes it a negative. Well, I had a student last night, and they tried to put a positive, and I told them to put a minus sign. I don't know how they put the minus. I don't know if they put parentheses or a minus or what, but you have to do that, and that will take care of that. So up to that point, you should have a 99 on it, right? And that would give you the 100 on it if you get that one correct. Okay, but anyhow, back to our exercises here. On the capital statement, 317, you have to have that 317 to get your balance sheet. And that, let's see, assets, fixed assets, liabilities, and capital 317 gives you 354 to match your assets. Now, does everybody have that statement with you? You have the balance sheet finished. Got it? See, good. Match. How about back here? Everybody get that? Match. All right. You know, I'm not going to check you person for person. If you don't do it, it just hurts you. It won't hurt anybody else but you. We have a baker that's in attendance now, so. Okay, now your next instruction on this, if you were looking at this income statement, you've got to make a closing entry from that income statement. Now you got to make closing entries in this problem. So what do I debit? How do I make a closing entry for these items? Debit fees earned, credit your expenses, then you'll credit capital for how much? How much will you credit capital for in that closing entry? How much? Your net income. That's one closing entry. They're very easy. All right. Now you can take another closing entry from the owner's equity. All right. What do we close out from the owner's equity statement? The drawing. So what do we do with drawing? Credit it, and we debit capital, don't we? All right. Now, if net income is 65, drawing is 8, your capital is going to increase 57. Now, when you make those entries and post them, this is what your capital has to look like in the ledger account. Now, the adjusting entries, you just copy them off the statement. You just copy the adjusting entries off of the worksheet. All right. We had fees earned but not billed. We had supplies used. We had prepaid insurance used up. We had depreciation. And then, of course, we had wages not paid. You have to get those adjusting entries or your whole worksheet will be off, won't it? Okay. Now, the two closing entries that we're talking about look like this. Debit fees earned, credit your expenses, and credit your capital. Then get rid of your drawing. Two closing entries. That's the newest thing in this chapter, closing entries. Now, what were these accounts called? Does anybody remember what they were called? Your balance sheet accounts for some reason I can't write on this, but these are your real accounts, assets, liabilities, equity. Now, if those are your real accounts, what were these accounts called? Temporary accounts. We give them a zero balance, and there's three of them: drawing, expenses, revenue.
You check click and draw up there on the top.
Do what?
Where you say you can't write on that thing, click draw and might let you write on.
Not gonna let me, is it? It normally lets me write on them. Let me select a pen. Well, this is what it's offering me here. Well, it's a good try. It's not gonna let me choose a pencil though. But most of them, it does it automatic. Okay, so, and you did not have to do a post-closing trial balance. Okay, if that's one problem on your exam, starting with a worksheet, 40 points. All your statements, just in closing entry, 40 more points. You can make a B on this test if you know how to do this one problem. And the other 20 points will come from chapter 5. I'm not putting a lot of relevance on. Maybe the accounting cycle. Okay, now, what is the first step in the accounting cycle? What do you think the first step is?
I remember saying it's just like analyze your accounts on your unadjusted trial balance.
No. Anybody, what's that first step?
Journal entries.
Analyze transactions and do journal entries. After you do journal entries, what do you do? What? No, you post. After you post, you do what? On adjusted drawback. Now, the worksheet is optional. That could be a step or not a step. All right, but if you do the worksheet, you put the adjustments on it. And then you do the financial statement. You do closing entries, you write your adjusted entries. The last step be a post-closing drawback. This book also mentions reversing entries, which we won't worry about reversing entries. Okay, now from this chapter also, you can make 5 or 10 more points. Now, if you will do problem 5A, this is on page 239, so you won't be confused. It is problem 4-5A. Now, you might be able to look up on Google and get these working papers. Now, on Cengage, when you go in to work a problem, does it give you help up there somewhere, show you examples of how you work that? I think it does. It's, when you're on Cengage working a problem, you go up there and click on help, or was it show me or give an example?
It shows me, they'll show you like a video how to do it.
Show you a video how to do it, won't it? Okay. Now, on Cengage, I hope you can find this. It's called, for students, Cengage Companion Site. Now, if you can find that Cengage Companion Site on plain Cengage, if you log in, I don't know if it'll give you a link to it or not, but if you can find that Cengage Student Companion Site, maybe even in front of your textbook somewhere, it will give you extra PowerPoints. It will give you self-quizzing, and so forth. So Cengage, it may even let you copy these, print these papers. I haven't tried that, but it may let you do that. So there's a lot of self-help. I think Johnny has a tutor, and I think she's just doing it. Her name's Savannah. She's a good accounting student. She just tutoring Johnny because she likes it or something. So, but she's not getting paid for it, Johnny. She's not getting paid for the hill for that, I don't think, is she?
Just maybe fill out an application and stuff, so.
Yeah, I don't think she's getting paid for it. Margo?
You said on page 239, I still don't really understand.
Page 239.
See, 5A.
It's on 219, I think.
Wait a minute. You're on page 239?
Yeah, I thought that's
All right. I don't know what you're wanting or asking about page
You said,
239.
do 5A. I don't see it.
What page did I tell you all to do that? Oh, well, it's my mistake.
I think it's on 219.
It's on page 219. I don't know how I got 239 out of that. I'm looking right at it, 219. Okay, page 219, problem 4-5A. I'll have to look better. I never wore glasses, and I probably could use reading glasses. But I never wore sunglasses. We ain't got license, so, but I'm happy. Get some reading license if I make mistakes like that. Anyhow. I worked at Chrysler one summer, we had to take a physical and eye test, and out of 3,000 eye tests that summer at Chrysler, I had perfect score. And they rated my vision at 12/12, which was better than 20/20, of course. But over the years, it's went down, and I'm getting probably a little nearsighted. It's probably not even 20/20, maybe 20/40 or something, who knows? All right, now let's look at a few other things in this chapter. Okay, that's a bonus problem. You may have to draw up your papers, or you might can copy them from Moodle, or you might go to that companion site and find them. That's the problem we have now, that we don't have a workbook.
So what kind of,
So if we do this, and turn it in on Thursday or whenever we take our test.
If you haven't read it, by the day we take the test, yeah, that will be another bonus. It'll be at least 5 points, okay?
but this is 31.
Yeah, and it's good practice. It's good practice. It's not a practice set, but it's good practice.
Now there's 31 problems here. You should make it 10.
The what?
There's 31 problems.
I'd agree with that.
You should make it 10 points.
It's a long problem. We'll see, Margot, later, how you do on the test and how you do on the bonus problem. All right, now, you know you can do financial statements from the end of the period adjustment. And we're gonna practice, once again, some closing entries. All right, I want you to go to page 207. All right, I want you to look at exercise 3. Now, ignore the instructions on exercise 3. You're going to look at that adjusted trial balance on exercise 3, and this is page 207 for sure, okay? All right, you're going to jot down 2 closing entries from that adjusted trial balance. You know what those 2 closing entries are. They're right here. Okay, they're on also on that adjusted trial balance. Exercise 3. So take about 5 minutes. If you're home, please do this exercise. Put it on plain paper in journal entry form. 2 journal entries.
Yeah, salary expenses.
That's gotta be Good. Easy culture. Good. Easy culture. Okay. That's what
Got the net income yet?
67.8.
67.8? Everybody else got 67.8? 67.8. And what do you have?
I got 35,300.
35,300?
4, 3 or 4. Yeah. 35.
4.3. Did you do 4.3?
I forgot.
What did you do?
Yeah. Oh, I wrote it down for a campground.
Tell me what you get? 135,300. Got that over here? Got that down?
Yeah.
Okay. Got 135,300? Okay.
Yeah.
These are, all right, on that trial balance, you just simply had to debit your revenue, credit your expenses, credit capital for 135,000, I think 300. Then you had to debit capital and credit drawing for how much? All right, that's it. That's closing entries. Now, I want you to do problem 1A, 1A on page 216. For 1A on page 216, I want you to do that before Tuesday. That's to bring to class. Now, that's just extra practice on these statements and these entries, which you all needed. And please be working on Cengage. All right? Yes. It's on page 216, Margot. It's definitely 216. I looked at it twice. Okay, and now we must start chapter 5. Now, we'll look at that problem. We haven't left this chapter. We'll look at the problem that I assigned you. If you have any questions on Cengage, I hope there's a spreadsheet on Cengage. There's one in the bonus problem. So please practice those. Okay, this chapter is about accounting systems. Accounting systems. Each business has different type of books. They have different accounts. service business versus a retail business versus a manufacturing business or mining business or government, different accounts. Accounting system, usually we think of using computers. And nowadays, computers are so inexpensive what they used to be. Even a small business with 2 employees could use QuickBooks Pro, and it does payroll and everything, okay? But anyway, journalize and post transactions in the manual accounting system that uses a subsidiary ledger. All right, we need to know what a subsidiary ledger is in this chapter. Describe the basic features of e-commerce. All right. You know, when the country was young, we had general stores. And from general stores, they've mentioned this, you know, we arrived at many different stores. We arrived at strip malls. We had super malls, indoor enclosed. And then we had super stores like Walmart or Super Kmart. Kmart pretty much gone in this area. So then we went to TV shopping, QVC or whatever. You could shop from home. And then we went to computer shop and e-commerce. How many of you order something on the computer, at least one item a year? That's e-commerce. Sometimes you have to pay taxes, do you?
Depends on what West Virginia is.
What?
Depends on what West Virginia is.
Yeah. But some of them still don't charge tax, some do. But e-commerce is a big business, of course. Of course, they have to keep accounting records like any other type business. But the basic features to you is turn on your computer, find the item, and put it in your shopping cart and pay for it somehow through PayPal or a credit card or what have you. So we've came a long way, and you know, we've got drive-through everything. Used to be drive-through banks. Now you can go through a drive-through pharmacy, you go to a drive-through and get beer, go through a drive-through and get groceries. And in the cities now, I have a sister in Detroit, and she got injured and she don't drive. She just calls her order into the grocery store and they deliver it. And so forth. So delivering your groceries to your home is getting popular in some of the bigger cities, okay? And that's just like things have evolved from the old payphone up to what you have on your cell phone now. That's like transportation. We went from a taxi cab to Uber. Have you ever used Uber? You have used Uber? Worked out okay for you? Okay. Is there Uber in Bluefield?
Not sure. I think there's one. Like last Sucker, yeah, I think that's like 20.
Oh, one person doing Uber services? Okay. Well, if some of you are not sure what Uber is, Google it. We don't have time to talk about it. Okay? But we've came a long way, is all I'm saying. And the only way we've came in accounting is computers assistance, okay? All right. It's the method and procedures for collecting, classifying, summarizing, and reporting the business finance. As a business grows and changes, the accounting system may change. Analyze user information needs, design the system, and then implement the system. And we're not worried about designing an accounting system, okay? All right, internal controls. Now it's let me write on PowerPoint. I don't know what draw might do for this one. It's not recognizing. If I wanted to write in red, yeah, it does. It's recognizing it on this one. The what?
Sometimes you have to click enable editing. Maybe that'll work on the other.
It might. Okay, it might. All right, internal controls protect your assets. All right. Now, how many of you work somewhere? How many of you handle money where you work? How many of you trusted are you? All right. Where do you handle money at? Where do you work?
Papa John's.
What, John? You run the cash register?
I run the cash register and I'm a driver, so I handle, delivery fees and like all that stuff.
Well, what kind of internal control does Papa John's have to make sure, money that you collect when you deliver or the money you put in the cash register is correct? Do they have any kind of control?
Yeah, you have to do a cash drop after you get $60 of fees through the customer. So after you get $60+ they won't let you go on any more deliveries until you put that into the register.
Okay, but, does anybody observe you while you're working the cash register?
They used to, but now since I've worked there for so long, I
Okay.
can do it on my own.
You know, some of these zip-in markets, they have cameras over the cash register.
Well, yeah, they have that.
They have cameras also.
They have it right directly over the.
All right, that's internal control is what we're talking about. Now, I worked at a supermarket one time and they had a two-way mirror. Go back to the meat shop and you can see everybody out in the store. But they were getting their meat, they were just looking at a mirror. Okay, but now Food City, for example, they have cameras everywhere. If they forgot to put an item in your buggy after you pay, you can go back, manager can bring up a picture of you at the cash register and to see if the bank boy put that item on your card. So if you're in Food City, you are being watched. So I guess you ought to watch where you scratch. Okay? Because you're on camera. Okay? Or pick your nose or whatever that would be on camera. It's internal control. One person should not collect money, make the bank deposit, and do a bank reconciliation. And we'll get to a bank reconciliation later. That's a form of internal control. So we do need internal control. Protect your assets from misuse. Ensure that business information is accurate. Ensure that laws and regulations are being followed. But this goes a long way. We'll get another chapter on it. We'll discuss it later. How to protect your merchandise in the store from shoplifting and employee pilfering. Employee pilfering is your own employee stealing from you. What? But a lot of that happens. So what kind of internal controls do you have to protect your assets? Cash, merchandise inventory, or even equipment. All right, what if you stole my computer? What if I walked out of the room and walked out? Does Bluefield State have any internal controls? What? Well, our security cameras are around. And they did trace down one student that carried out a computer. They went to his home in college. And of course, he got kicked out of college and they prosecuted their own. He carried a mainframe computer, I mean, you know, the whole thing, the CPU and monitor out of the building. All right. Anyhow, but you got assets, you got to protect them. Okay. Now, we're doing a manual accounting system so we can understand accounting. Now, we've been doing a 2-column journal. Now we got to learn what a subsidiary ledger is. Now, did you ever think about when you debit accounts receivable and credits revenue? How do we keep up with who owes us? We've got to have a subsidiary ledger. That'd be a list of customers, accounts receivable, and your name. So a subsidiary ledger is a list of customers or a list of accounts payable. So there's two main subsidiary ledgers. All right, your general ledger is just your accounts receivable, one account. But you got all those people that owe you that you gotta keep up with. Each subsidiary ledger is representing a general ledger by a summary account called a controlled account. That's accounts receivable and accounts payable. That's a customer's ledger. And accounts payable subsidiary ledger is a creditor's ledger. Customers and creditors. Now we're going to look at some special journals. We've always had this general journal, but we're going to look at special journals. All right. Now they mentioned 4 special journals here. What do you think you'd put in a revenue journal? What? What kind of revenue? On account. It has to be on account to go in this journal. Providing services on account goes in a revenue journal. Now, if it was a cash customer, it goes in a cash receipts journal. Anytime you receive cash, it goes in a cash receipts journal. Anytime you pay out cash for whatever reason, it goes in a cash payments journal and purchase journal. Now, these are not as necessary as they used to be with computerized system. That's why I'm going to cover this chapter, but it's not going to count more than 20 points on your test. Okay?
Like multiple choice questions.
You will not have any multiple choice questions unless you do have it from this chapter. I'll let you know later. We have general ledger balance, and we have cash. Now, accounts receivable might be 10 customers. Accounts payable might be 5 or 10 suppliers. Remember, fees earned on account. All right, now, how many count those? How many debits and credits do we have? How many debits and credits? 8. All right, how many times would you have to post? All right, how many times do you think you'd have to post? 12. Where do I get 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we've got to put it in the customer's account. That's why we put a check mark there. 9, 10, 11, 12. You have to post 12 times. If you put those in a revenue journal like this, you've got 1 debit to accounts receivable, and you got 1 credit to fees earned. So you'd post 2 times. You only post a total. Now you still got to post to the individual people, accessories and Rap Zone and Web and accessories by Clara. You'd have 6 posted. So you cut your posting in half. But what if there was 100 of these customers? You'd post 2 times the total, and you'd post to 100 customers. So you'd post 102 times instead of 300. 100 to accounts receivable, 100 to fees earned, and 100 to your customers. So you're going to post a total twice, and you're going to post to the customers. So you're cutting down 300 to 102. An invoice is a bill. All right, we're trying to show you that you post a 9,600 to the general ledger, and R35 means revenue journal, and you post it, put the 12 here, and then 41 is your fees earned. So that's your two postings for the total. And then we put it into accessories by Clara, Rap Zone, Web Cantina, and accessories by Clara. All right, now, here's what this person owes us. Somebody add these three figures together. Here's our three customers. Add what they owe us. 52, 1750, and 6050. Somebody's got a calculator. Add that for us. Add what our three customers owe us. 2600. All right. Now, we had a balance 3,400. We put in 9,600, but I believe you got me wrong there. It's not 9,600. Add again, 5,200, 1,750, and 6,050.
It's 13,000.
It's got to match what I've got over here in the general ledger, 13,000. Hey, if our accounts receivable says people owe us 13,000, this just shows you what people owe us that 13,000. Now, it has to add up math. That's why this is called a controlling account, and this is subsidiary account. For you people viewing at home, these three figures added together has to equal this figure, okay? That's why it's called a controlling account, and these are subsidiary accounts. All right, example exercise. Just says record these transactions, which they've done in a revenue journal. It's easy to do. Invoice number is just a bill. Now let's look at the cash receipts journal. Now we need control over cash, don't we? Who works at a grocery store? Anybody? Anybody ever worked at a grocery store? What'd you work at?
Very example one.
You run a cash register? You did? All right. What would you do if a friend here has a $50 bill and he gets a dollar purchase? He gives you the $50 bill, you give him back $49 change, right? But then I come along and I'm in cahoots with your friend. I get a couple dollars purchase. I give you a $5 bill. Okay? You give me back $3 change. I tell you, that's wrong. I gave you a 50. Check your last 50 in your drawer there. It's got my initials on it. I'll show you my driver's license. See that $50 bill he gave you? We put my initials on it. All right, so you look in your drawer, you got that $50 bill with my initials on it. Well, you're gonna give me change for 50 or the 5. What are you gonna do?
Here comes. Bring up the camera. Look at the register.
All right, if you had a camera over the register, what if you didn't have a camera over the register?
Check your bus transaction.
Check your what?
Your transactions. You can bring
Count
up.
your drawer.
What?
Count your drawer.
Down your drawer.
They always taught us like, like before you give the guy back his change, you always put that, yeah, like on top of the registry.
You lay the money on the register until you put it in the drawer.
Yeah.
But see, I was gonna wait till he put that 5 in the drawer. I wasn't gonna let him have it laying up on the register. He's already put it in his drawer. That's when I tell him he give me back the wrong change. But now you shouldn't fall for that, but some people will. They get nervous and they give you back the money and then their drawer is short. They get it in the buried or something. All right. At Papa John's, cash is probably short sometimes or over. If your cash register is short, do they write you up or what do they do?
They don't write me up, or they don't write anybody up, because the cash drawer is under the manager's name, so it's their responsibility if it's under or over at the end of the month.
Their responsibility doesn't seem like to be the cash drawer operator.
Well, I mean, everybody's a cashier. We just whoever's available to go do the cash.
Then that's a problem. That's not the internal control. What? How do you handle cash?
Every night, like I work at Tractor Supply, but every night the manager on duty has to count it. Somebody else has to stay by and verify that amount. Access to people. But we're like him, everybody just kind of uses the register, whoever's up front. Somebody can stop and feed or load the truck.
Everybody's doing the register. So if it's short, if it's short $100, it's like yours. If it's short $50, can you prove who took the money?
The camera. There's always a camera over the.
Okay. Well, now some of these places, and I hate to let you in on a secret, some of them have cameras up there with no film in it. They just use this camera for a steer tag. Okay.
Well, they're like Tractor Supply, we have like nobody gets in trouble if it's like, it's over 20, we get in trouble. If it's under 20, somebody will get in trouble. But then you make mistakes like with change.
Everybody makes mistakes. But if you make too many mistakes, you should be fired.
Right.
Okay. But anyway, internal control, cash is just one item. We need to have internal control. There's all kinds of ways you can shoplift. Merchandise inventory, which we'll get to in chapter 6 or whatever. Or 7, something like that, probably 6. But, you know, people have such sick ways of shoplifting. Okay? Stores try to have internal control by having low shelves and cameras and undercover people with a buggy. Christmas time's coming up, shoplifting gets bad. But somebody started shoplifting in Bluefield last year. Almost every store in Tazewell all the way down to Richland. They finally got caught in Richlands, and they had about $10,000 worth of merchandise in their vehicle. And
Somebody was shoplifting over at the dollar store up beside Papa John's, where they had the red tag clearance outside. They took the clothes, went over to Papa John's, went in the bathroom, did something with them, and then left. And then the manager of dollar store came over and told us that she stole something.
but she's gone.
Oh yeah, well no, she got caught.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, I guess she was still in the area. It wasn't that smart of a thief.
You know, I guess I taught student education. My students about what retail business. I had to give them a session on shoplifting. I went into one of the major stores there and checked out, and I shoplifted something like $200 worth of stuff, but I had it made up with the manager that I could do that. So I used that little seminar when I was teaching at stores at police about shoplifting. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get to the merchandise inventory. Okay. Okay, cash receipts journal. Now we have more than one column. You can have as many columns as you want. But accounts receivable, debit, and credit cash are the two big columns. All right? But up here, you collected rent revenue and you got it under other accounts. Now you post this total to accounts receivable, this total to accounts receivable, cash, and other accounts you post individually to rent revenue. And I forget that people at home can't see me. That's why I try to remember to point it out here. You post this total, and these you post individually in a other account. So you can collect cash from any source. You don't have a special column for it. But now we could have a special column for rent revenue if we were collecting a lot. They show you to post it again, but we're going to move on to purchase journal. Now here you record purchases on account, not cash purchases. You record purchases on account. Now, later we'll have, here we have accounts payable for supplies, but you're going to have a special column for anything you want. Now here we didn't have a column for office equipment, but we put it in other, okay? And then for a purchase journal, we're going to move on real quick to a cash payments journal. Any reason you pay out cash, you can put it in a cash payments journal. All right. Now, if you have a computerized accounting system and you want to keep special journals, and each business, depending on what the business is, they may not have any purchase. They don't need a purchase journal. Or they may not need a sales journal. But it depends what you may need. All right. But in a cash payments journal, once again, you post the totals of special columns. Post a total to cash and post a total to accounts payable. You don't have to post individually. Now you got to post to the suppliers to show you paid them in the subsidiary ledger. And then you post these items individually. Okay. They mentioned in QuickBooks. Now, has anybody ever used QuickBooks? No. It's a popular accounting package, good for small businesses. We've got a computer application to accounting class in the accounting major. And we used to have to teach like accounting system, flow charts, and all that stuff. Now, Mr. Imo converted it over just to QuickBooks. So we do have a course, whether you're accounting major or not, if you want to take a course in QuickBooks, we have, okay, called Accounting Information System. All right, anytime you use the internet to buy or sell, e-commerce, does anybody sell on the internet? I thought we had one guy in here, I don't see him, that he had some kind of clothing business that he sold on the internet. The man said here, I can't think of his name. It's termed B2C, business to computer. If it's business to business, it's B2B. All right, 3 additional areas where the internet is being used for business purposes are supply chain management, customer relationship management, product life cycle management. We don't worry about those.
That question.
Yeah.
If Tractor Supply will do, people can buy stuff on our site from bulk and come pick it up at the store. Is that still e-commerce or is it?
Well, does the store have it? Does the store have to order it and have it there for you? Or
Sometimes we have it, but they can buy it online.
anytime they buy online, it's e-commerce. And, you know, you have Black Friday after Thanksgiving, I guess. And then you've got what, Black Monday for e-commerce or something like that? What?
Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday, not Black Monday. We got Black Friday and Cyber Monday. It's, e-commerce is big.
Most likely to eat your teeth on Cyber Monday.
Most likely to what?
Not eat your teeth on Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
Some of those people on Black Friday get crazy over this discount TVs.
Oh, yeah. They'll hurt you for it.
Lady hit me in the face because she thought I was gonna get a tickle me Elmo.
What were you buying? Tickle me Elmo.
I wasn't buying a tickle me Elmo. I thought I was getting a new, it's like the PS4. I thought it was.
So what you should have done is you should have just broke the ticket me out, so nobody got it.
Just to prove it.
That's what I was.
I would have to still pay for it.
Yeah, but see, then she wouldn't have got it.
Why you just had a spike, set it on fire.
Did you let her have it? I mean, did she?
She got it.
If people are that greedy and that busy, just let them have it. Don't break it. Just let them have it.
Yeah, she punched me in the face and like ran off.
You can live without it.
Like, that's just the part.
I don't know if it was a tickle me. I think some sort of kids. I'm trying to get discount Call of Duty.
All right, segments we won't worry about too much. We got too much other. We know what a vertical and a horizontal analysis are. We didn't have it on the test, but we know what they are. All right, pretty much what you have seen is the PowerPoint presentation on chapter 5. Okay? And you've got a whole lot to do on chapter 4. Okay? And I'm going to give you the next 15 minutes, not to pick up and run, but to be working on chapter 4. No, you don't have a computer with you, get on Senior. But you can go be looking at that one problem I gave. Be working some on it. What was that? 1A. Go to 1A and use this 15 minutes for a little lab to be working on your homework. Get started on 1A. Once you start something, you're more apt to finish it. So let's get started on 1A. Page 216, page 216. You can go ahead and get your income statement done. You can get a couple of those statements done in 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's the one you're on, Black Friday. Did you ever see the South Park special about Black Friday? Like, it's like a war between these pro-index sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
She's on your side.